Hi everybody, welcome to the Limit Breakdown. I'm your host, Sid.
And I'm Migs.
And we review TV shows, movies, and everything in entertainment. Today we're going to be reviewing Brad Pitt's new movie, Bullet Train. Our too long, didn't watch review overall was 4.5 hearts. That means it's a really good watch. Go out and watch it in theaters. It's really fun. Stick around after the intro for our deep dive review and our thoughts.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Limit Breakdown, and today we're going to be breaking down the new Brad Pitt movie, Bullet Train. So let's go ahead and get going, man. Sid, give me your initial thoughts on this one.
I loved this movie. I thought it was such a phenomenal movie. It was entertaining from the beginning. Every aspect of the movie was really good. I'm a huge Brad Pitt fan as an actor. Very diverse, does some crazy stuff. But I thought the way the movie was presented itself was really, really good. Action sequence were on point. There was comedy in it. There was a bit of seriousness to the tone of the movie, and they played it off really well. It wasn't like overly comedic, but had comedic moments. And like how they portrayed the movie overall was just fantastic. Every aspect of the movie, including the conclusion of it, I thought was awesome. What about you?
I agree. I agree with you. I thought the movie was fantastic from beginning to end. Very well written, very well directed. There were so many very almost artistic cinematography to it. It felt like in certain parts with the intricacy of the plot, it was very Quentin Tarantino-esque.
Definitely, I can see that.
And then also, I don't know if you're familiar with like Lock, Stock, and Barrel or Snatch or some of those style movies. Yeah. Like it had that feel, that vibe. So it was very, very much to my taste, and the action sequences were very on point. And it didn't shy away from some goriness here in certain spots. So it was a fun watch from beginning to end. And like I said, I wasn't sure how how them being stuck on this train was actually gonna play out, but and it had some good surprises in the ending sequence, so I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. So overall, I think the tone of the movie that I really liked was it was lighthearted with a seriousness, right? So the main plot of the movie is that Brad Pitt has been assigned to go retrieve a briefcase, and he's like, "That's all your mission is." And from the get-go, they're like, he's like, "I'm very unlucky. People just die around me, even though I don't want to." And as the movie progresses, it shows that bad luck of his, and it's really clever. Obviously, the other characters, Lemon and Tangerine,
yes.
who are trying to make sure that the briefcase is secure, as well as the son of the mafia leader is secure. And honestly, their interaction within each other was so great.
They had fantastic chemistry.
Yeah, they had great chemistry.
Honestly, it's without jumping it too far ahead, but like I could watch a movie with just those two in it, with just Lemon and Tangerine. Yeah, dude, like a heist movie with them would be so much fun.
Yeah, their chemistry was phenomenal. It was really fun, and then the fact that he kept connecting everything to Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
And like every moment, and at the ending where it mattered, like when he's like, "You're a diesel." Diesel was a bad, not a fun person. He's like, "You're a diesel," like connecting that. It was, and how he judges people was so clever and well done. It's not like they took an idea and then they kind of only did it once, or they like shoved it in there. It was like well executed.
Yeah, and it made sense within the context of the character.
Yeah. Another thing that I liked that they did was every time a new person showed up or like a new timeline, they had like a little blinky thing saying this is the person, or this is what's going on. and it kind of got you to be like, oh, well, remember this happened, and then would flash back to that. But it wasn't like a, hey, it's a flashback. It's like a, like you said, very artistic directory, and the camera, the cinematography is the word I'm looking for. It was really, really well executed. And, like, each character, why they were on the bullet train,
it made sense.
It made sense. They brought it back. It was showing me, like, this person's on the train because this, and, like, and all the confusion that is happening was so funny.
They took, like, you know, you had, like we said in the beginning, you had the main core of the story, which was Brad Pitt going to get this briefcase, and Lemon and Tangerine basically having to secure the briefcase and return the White Death's son, right? So that was the gist of it, and you start to get all these pieces coming in, and you're not fully understanding, and through different conversations, like there wasn't a lot of wasted dialogue.
Yeah,
like I feel like everything, for the most part, the dialogue was extremely well written, and it tied back even things that you thought didn't matter, found a way to tie itself back in towards the end. So it was very well done in that aspect. So since we're talking about, you know, this intricate plot, let's go ahead and I want to break it down by characters, right?
Okay.
All right. Let's start with who I thought were the standout characters. Like Brad Pitt's character. I don't think we got. Did we get his name? I know they called him Ladybug.
Yeah. No, we never got his actual name.
Yeah.
His I guess code name was Ladybug. They thought he was Carver, but he was Ladybug the whole time.
Carver was Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. I thought that was
plot twist.
He was a villain for Carver. But no, for me the standouts were Lemon and Tangerine.
Yep.
The one actor that played Lemon is famous for The Eternals and Atlanta.
Yes.
And then of course Tangerine has been he was Quicksilver in the MCU.
Yes.
And Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Oh man, I totally forgot he was in Kick-Ass.
Yeah, he was in Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but both of those did really, really well. The chemistry back and forth was fantastic. I thought the fact that they were supposed to be twins was hilarious.
Yeah, they're twins, so they don't look alike. Yeah, that was... And then I did like how at the end, I thought they were just business partners that they call the twins. But it turned out that they actually were brothers.
Yeah, I think they were foster brothers.
There was foster brothers or something growing up. And so that made their chemistry, at least in the story, a lot deeper. And I was like, they're not just partners, they're just actual brothers. Yeah. I thought that chemistry was phenomenal. And throughout the movie, they showed them in different areas of their missions, or different missions. Yeah. Like when they were counting how many people they killed. Yeah. They're like, one here, and while the flashback's happening, two.
Yeah.
That was so clever. I thought it was amazing. That was one of my favorite scenes.
The funniest thing about that is I can legitimately see myself having that same discussion with one of my brothers. Like, if we were in that business and we had a dispute, like, in that scenario, like, at first I'm just like, this isn't a very, like, inconvenient time to be having this discussion. But then I really thought about it, and I'm like, if me and one of my brothers were in that, like, this is the type of stuff that we would do.
Yeah. Their chemistry was really good.
Yeah.
The one other character who I thought, besides Brad Pitt's character in Lemon and Tangerine, was the Mexican guy. He was from Mexico.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. And it took me a second that it was Bad Bunny until, like, way later, and I'm like, I think I know that guy. Bad Bunny was he was called the Wolf.
The Wolf, yeah.
The Wolf. I thought his character was it was very short, but it was so significant that I thought it was hilarious. And the way they did his fight scene was so clever. Like, and the way he died was, I was dying.
It was literally the worst possible luck. And then the aspect, the whole thing with him seeing Brad Pitt as the first person to open the train, and then instantly making the connection. You were because he wasn't even there for him. He was there for the Hornet.
No, he was there. No, the Hornet was there to kill him. Brad Pitt was there for the Dawn. Sigur, or I can't remember the name. Brad Pitt was there for the Dawn. The Hornet was there to kill somebody else.
Yeah.
To kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But the Wolf was on the train looking for the Hornet.
For the Hornet.
Yes.
Yep.
But he happened to see Brad Pitt, and then because they had bumped into each other.
Yep. Because the line and like that scene was so clever because you see Brad Pitt trying to get out and he see him and he's like, who's this random guy? He starts attacking and then it flips over to now showing the backstory of the wolf,
yeah,
and then him coming up to the train and seeing that, I was like, that's so clever how they brought that together. Fight scene, like I said, was amazing. How he died, he threw the knife. Brad Pitt bounces, stabs him, and then as he's falling, he cracks his neck on the briefcase.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what are the chances?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then obviously Brad Pitt's reaction, he's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill you.
It was like, people keep dying.
Yeah, so speaking of the Hornet, I thought that was the one character that was extremely brief. The only part of that character that I liked was when she was trying to kill Brad Pitt, and he's like, and she's like, one shot of this will make you bleed out from me. He's like, she said, do you know what this does? And he's like, one shot of this will beat it. And he's like, I know what it does. And she kept continuing, and he's like, oh my god, I already told you I know what it does. Like, you don't have to continue your monologue about life. That was so funny to me. That was really good. Yeah.
No, the follow-up sequence too, when she finally they're fighting over who's gonna stab who with the needle. Like she's trying to stab him, he's trying to get it back from her, and then I think he stabs her or she stabs him first.
She stabs him first, and then as it's going in, he takes it out and stabs her with it. Yeah.
So then they're kind of like staring at each other for a second because he's like, I know you wouldn't have this if you didn't have the antidote.
Yep.
And then like
as soon as she pulls it out, gives it to himself. And then he's like, do you want some water? Like wine? Are you okay? Like... Oh my god! So just bleeding out her eyes and her mouth, and oh my god!
I don't know if that's based on a real poison or not, but god, that thing looked awful.
So the snake is real. It does have similar properties like that. Obviously, it was over exaggerated in the movies, but it does have similar properties like that. It's crazy.
God awful.
Yeah.
No, and you know what? I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, for somebody who claims to have bad luck, this man has a lot of bad luck. Because I mean, a lot of good luck. Because what are the odds that you get bit by this particular venomous snake, like, just a couple of, like, an hour after you got a dose of antivenom?
Yep.
So he's just like, are you okay? He's like, actually, I just got an antivenom for this, so I think I'm gonna be fine.
So that was actually one of the things that. So the whole time, she had stolen the snake from the zoo, and smuggling it in the train. He accidentally opens it up, and the snake. The whole time you see the snake slithering around in the train. I expected at one point that someone was gonna use that snake as like kick the snake towards somebody and that's how they get bit, or kind of like that. I think that's my only quarrel with the movie, was him to get bit by the snake at that time that he did. Honestly, didn't make any sense, because they were just sitting there talking to each other, and then randomly they're like, oh my god, the snake, and then he gets bit.
No, because they it was the prince girl.
Yes,
they were talking to the prince girl, and it was when the elder first made his appearance.
Yep.
And the thing with Brad Pitt getting big gave her enough opening to kind of scurry away.
I mean, yes, but I'm saying, like, it was for him to get bit randomly. Yeah. I thought it would have been like, they see the snake, the girl would have recognized it, and like threw it towards him, kicked him towards him or something, to kind of be like, oh my god, now I'm gonna kill you with this, and then he like miraculously lives, and she's like, what the hell? Like, I think that would have been.
I see what you're getting. It feels like they wrote the snake in, and then they didn't really know what to do with it, so they had to just figure out something.
They could have just said, hey, this is what the snake does, but they never had the snake in the whole thing the whole time. That was the only thing that I had a quarrel with. Beyond that,
now that I mentioned the prince characters, she's called the prince, but it's a woman, and then so their whole thing with what was his name?
The the dad of the child.
Yeah.
Yeah. She pushed off his 10-year-old son off the roof
of a building.
Of a building. 3 hours later, he arrives, which they don't explain. Whatever.
Yeah.
To take him to the hospital, and then he gets on the train to do something, and she's like, "This has all been planned. I want you to kill the White Death."
Yeah.
All of that just so the White Death arrives and you can kill him.
The one thing that I will say is, like, I mentioned to this to you because we actually saw this movie together.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked the world building that they did.
Yeah.
Like the backstory on everything.
And it's a quick backstory on each of them. They're like, here's a character, here's a quick backstory, back to the main story.
Yeah. This almost feels like it would make one of those really cool Japanese RPG games, almost like Grand Theft Auto style. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see, yeah.
Yeah, because like, it's like this whole Yakuza Mafia underside story, and then it's got all of these threads. Like, they just did a phenomenal job, and all the characters were compelling. It was all very interesting. The White Death and that whole explanation of how he came into power, and it was absolutely brilliant.
I think the redemption of the Elder finally fighting off the White Death was a really good fight scene. The whole movie, they're like, the White Death was some Russian guy who came into the Yakuza, or whatever the Mafia was, and then got up the ranks to finally kill the master, so then he becomes the boss, and now just been ruling the underground. The Elder, wants his revenge on him killing his old boss. And when he comes in, you can see him with a little stick walking, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah.
He takes his sword. That fight scene overall was phenomenal.
Yes.
I thought it was really, really good. Obviously, at that point in the story, the Brad Pitt's character and Tangerine had become friends. No, Lemon had become friends because he had accidentally killed Tangerine because the girl was like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But they kind of become friends, and then they fight the Ninja Clan together, basically. The evil Ninja Clan together with the 88 henchmen.
All right, the new crazy 88.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how the White Death's presence was kind of looming, but it was, I don't know, man, it was, the tone was a little all over the place for me at times. Like, I liked it. It was the right amount of comedic, but there were some things like the whole them stopping like every other stop where they would have to like, oh hey, for a second when they were after the son first died, right? Like we didn't see it at first, but he got killed by the Hornet.
Yep.
And so Lemon and Tangerine were supposed to be keeping him alive, and all of a sudden he's dead.
Yeah.
So he's just like, yeah, we're just
screwed.
Put
sunglasses glasses over it. I want those glasses. I want those glasses so bad.
So they get the phone call, and they're like, hey, you have to show us the guy, and you have to show us the briefcase to see that we have it. So then they look at each other, and they're like, we know what we have to do. It would have killed me if they would have looked at each other and gone, Weekend at Bernie's. like that would
that would have been hilarious. I mean, that's kind of what
basically what
when he was on there, like he did so that was one of the things, because Brad Pitt's main job was to grab the briefcase and get off at the next exit, or the next stop, sorry. And every stop, there was something or the other that happened that prevented him. The funniest one was when he finally meets the prince, the girl, and she's like, oh no, my bag is stuck. And he's like, we have to go. And he's like, you could tell his demise. He like reluctantly walks back into the train, and he's like, God, I just wanted to get off. And he looks over, and she's like, I got it. And he's like,
of course you did.
And nothing, him being very oblivious to everything.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, he just chalked it up to this is just my luck.
Yeah. That was so clever. And like I said, every station that had something like that, it was very, very clever.
Speaking of the plot twists, all right, what did you think of Princess' plan?
So I thought it was a very, very thought out, manipulative, but very thought out plan. She did this whole kicking the child off the roof just so the dude comes, just so he can get the possibility of getting the White Death, and then and then at the end turns out she is his daughter.
Yep.
And then you're like,
well, the whole shtick was he was supposed to recover the briefcase. She planted a bomb in the briefcase.
Yep.
And then because the White Death's whole thing was if anybody tried to kill them, he would kill them with their same weapon.
Yeah.
So she took his gun, rigged it to explode, and then the idea was, well, if the explosion in the briefcase doesn't kill him, then he's gonna make a point of killing him with his own weapon.
Yeah.
And so like. I was like, wow, that's actually really, really smart.
Yeah. Very manipulative, but very smart.
But then the gun started getting passed around like a hot potato.
Everybody holding it, yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, there's some flaws to this plan here.
Yeah. The funniest thing that I thought was at the very end when it was just her, Brad Pitt, and then the Elder, and then she's showing the gun. I was like, and the whole time Brad Pitt's like, I don't use guns, I don't like guns, I don't like to kill people, even though it happens around him. And I thought that was going to be one of the scenes where she, like, gives it to him, or he's just like, and he's like, pull the trigger, and he's like, I don't use guns. And she's like, of course, I had to find the one guy who doesn't use guns out of all the people. So yeah, I think the biggest plot twist to me was the White Death's plan. When they finally get to see him, he has Brad Pitt down, and he's like explaining what happened, and it's basically his idea to
have everybody on board. Yeah,
he wanted Tangerine and Lemon on board because
they slaughtered his crew in Bolivia.
Yeah, something like that. They slaughtered in Bolivia. He wanted the Hornet because the person who was supposed to revive his wife, the surgeon, got struck by the Hornet, and so he died. So because of that happened, and then he wanted to kill Brad Pitt because he allegedly killed his wife, had a hit on her and killed his wife. So that whole thing was just like, oh my god, he planted everything.
Yeah.
He gave the money.
The twist in there was he never accounted for his daughter.
Yeah. But that whole thing, he planted the money. He did a fake ransom for her son. He's like, I don't even care about my son.
He had his son killed.
Yeah, he had his son. He's like, I don't even care about him. Like, he's...
Well, he basically killed him because that was the whole reason his wife was in the car. Because the hit, if I was,
because he went to jail.
Yeah, because
that's right.
The hit was actually on him, and he was supposed to be in the car, but instead it was his wife because his son had gone to jail, and she was going to go get him.
Yep. So he had to. So that was the big. He's like, oh my god. That's clever. Make everybody go for the same thing, and they all just kill each other. Whoever's left, I'll kill them.
Yeah.
That was a very clever plot. And then, of course, the third plot twist, where he's finally killing where he's about to kill Brad Pitt, and he's like, and you were the driver that killed my wife, Carver. And he's like, I'm not Carver. I'm a villain.
I'm just filling.
Yeah. He's like, Carver like has like a stomach bug or something. That wasn't me. And he's like. And the crime boss of Japan, is like, you're a villain? Like, his face, he's like, oh my god, I cannot believe this whole crap went down and you're a villain. And then he tries to kill him with the gun that his daughter had rigged.
Yep. And blows himself off, yep. Blows his head off. No, that was a different movie.
So Karma came around. He died with the weapon that his daughter had designed.
Yeah.
I thought that whole thing I thought was really awesome.
Well, I also really like when the daughter comes back and she's like, see, this is all my plan. This all happened because all of my planning. And they're like, dude, what about the ego on this one? And then she gets hit with a tank.
Oh my god. That was, again, karma at its... I think a lot of this movie was karma.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the movie was karma.
And the Elder explaining to Brad Pitt what... In Japanese culture, what the ladybug symbolizes.
Yeah.
That it's, the ladybug has the spots because it carries all the sins of the world, so it's actually just not unlucky, but it's fulfilling a very specific purpose in the world, and he's just like,
I don't want to carry all the sins.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want that. Yeah, so I think that getting hit by a tangerine bus because Lemon at that point has jumped off the train to, kill a bad guy or whatever. Finds a tangerine truck and then he drives it and hits her and he's like, payback because you made my brother die. Speaking of that, I think the death of Tangerine, well, originally Lemon had died and you could see the pain in Tangerine. He's like, bro, my brother died.
Yeah.
And then Tangerine dies.
Yeah.
In my mind, obviously, they were both dead, right? So they portrayed it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's...
Well, for what I found particularly compelling in that sequence of events was, okay, so before they had split up, because they were looking for Brad Pitt, right? And he's like, hey, you got your gun, you got your weapon. He's like, you got your vest?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no. He's like, I don't wear a vest. That gives you a false sense of security.
Yeah.
He's like, because what if they shoot you in the head?
Yeah.
Then, then you have this security for nothing. He's like, yeah, well, it saves you if you get shot in the chest.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was one of those things like he either... At some point, he wanted to put the vest on, or he was actually wearing it all along.
I think he was wearing it all along.
Yeah.
I think he was wearing it all along. And yeah, so Lemon lives.
Yeah.
Tangerine ends up dying, and then you can see his pain when he's sitting next to him when he's dying. I was like, fuck, man. I think that sequence itself is really good.
Honestly, I'm normally of the mind that if a movie is really, really good, that it doesn't always need a sequel. It doesn't always need a follow-up.
True.
This is one of the few exceptions where I feel like the characters were so compelling, the world building was so great that I need a follow-up. I need a continuation.
Or a prequel. Prequel to Lemon and Tangerine. It could be a prequel to Brad Pitt, how he, why he went into this, that yoga therapy or whatever, seclusion. What made him be a new man that they said in the beginning. Maybe a post when Sandra Bullock comes out and she's the handler.
Yeah, Sandra. I didn't even realize she was.
I did not either. I saw her and I was like,
she has a very recognizable voice.
Yeah.
So
and then when she comes out in a really nice Beamer, he's like, "Is that a Beamer? I hope nothing." Boom, and the car gets it. She's like, I don't know if a sequel would work. But I definitely think a prequel would definitely be.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to see some more with Lemon and Tangerine.
Yeah, so I'm pretty wrapped up on this.
I'm pretty good. So, any final thoughts that you wanted to give?
I just want to say, I think it was a fantastic movie. Really well written, really well cinematography. Fight scenes were good. Almost every part of the movie I thought was really well written and directed. I would go back and watch it again. If somebody was like, "Hey, let's put this on," I was like, "I would definitely watch it." It's one of those movies.
Definitely. It's one of those movies where it's, I think, what a fun summer blockbuster should be. Yes, it's not a simple plot to follow, but it's not overly
it's not
complicated.
You have to remember this minor detail. Yeah, I agree with you.
It gave you enough to keep you engaged. The action sequences were great, and it was just fun. From beginning to end, it was a fun watch. So I agree with you. I'd definitely go watch it again. That's our recommendation. Check this one out while it's still in theaters, or if you happen to be watching this after it's out of theaters, definitely give it a watch. It is fantastic. We definitely recommend it. That brings us to the end. Thanks for sticking around with us. Those were our thoughts. Stay tuned for more content coming up. We are going to be doing some more movie reviews, some more TV shows. We still got that Stan Lee pop to give away. We're looking forward to getting to 100 subscribers. So let's keep it going, guys. Appreciate it.
If you like our videos, please subscribe and hit the like button.